Hey everybody, Breakthrough Health and Life Coach Glenn Hattem here. I'm here with my good buddy Mikyo Riggs. Say hi, Mikyo.
What's up,
Um,
everybody?
you are
Happy to
about
be
to
here.
be, what's that?
Oh, happy to be here.
Oh yes, and everybody else should be happy to be here. I feel like I got Mr. Miyagi here on the line here, and you'll soon understand why and what's going to unfold in this conversation because Mikio is God. We've known each other back high school. This goes back, and anybody who wants to count those years, I'm like, then you can help me figure out how old I am too. So, because what happens when you get older? But we've known each other for a number of years, good buds, and have similar philosophies on life and how to approach the beatings that we've taken and extrapolating that wisdom, not just for our own growth, but for others. We operate from that place of how can what I've been through serve others best, so that people can maybe not. I always look at it like, how can we shorten the gap in your learning so you don't have to go through some of the painful experience. We all got to go through stuff, but shortening the gap of learning life's key lessons. And so I think maybe Mickey will share a little bit about what you're up to in the world so people get an understanding of who are sitting across the way from here.
Okay. Well, my name is Mikyo Riggs, and I'm a 4th-degree black belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing martial arts for 30 years, I think, actually maybe 32 years at this point. And I've been a school owner for the last 16 years. In that time, my career, I've taught over 10,000 classes. I've had students of all walks of life, all ages. I teach kids from 3 years old all the way up into, I think, 65, something like that is my oldest student. And my passion is really just changing people's lives for the better. I like to call my system just enlightenment through hard training. And I like to try to push people past their limits and what they thought they could do. And that's what gets me excited. That's what makes me happy in the day, you know?
Yeah, and I think a lot of folks come back for more of that, not just the success, and you've helped a lot of competitors compete, but they come back for your philosophies, your principles. You probably operate as a stronghold of light for people on their path. That's beneath the technician that provides all these brilliant ways to handle all sorts of situations, because there's a lot of different art forms combined in the work you do, but there's a spirit that people come into this sacred training facility that you have, that's there. Parents, when they're looking for someone to work with, they're really investigating deeply into, like, is this person's philosophies and principles what I want taught to my kids? Or as an executive who's like, hey, I'm dealing with these kind of challenges in my my role in business, and how I show up in my household with my family. They're coming to you not just to, oh my God, this guy's the baddest guy on the planet, but like, this guy is actually going to help me with some key life principles.
Absolutely. And I like to think of martial arts, jujitsu, as a system of self-improvement, not just a system of self-defense. When people get started, they think that they want to learn how to get bigger, stronger, stuff like that. And that happens. But then they start to realize that, oh, I'm actually a little calmer. Oh, I deal with problems a little bit better. I'm more relaxed, And so I feel like at first the benefits are on the outside, but then the longer they do it, they realize the benefits are really on the inside. And that's what I'm looking for, is to create like change. And someone that's working the system, it might look like they get a new belt or win a medal. Someone else, they might get a promotion in their job, or like success with their relationship or something like that. So I feel like success is very different for everybody. Your goals are very different, but the main thing is that we're all pushing to get those goals. We're all trying to get to that next level, and we need tools and a system to kind of get us there.
So, you're a father, and you obviously bring these principles to your daughter, because there may be some things that you missed out on as a kid. And I'm curious, maybe sharing with the audience. I know you from quite a bit of your upbringing, but maybe sharing a little bit about the Ralph Macchio side of you from back in the day. It's like, who were you as a youngster in growing up, and what were some of the things that you were learning along the way that got you to where you're at today with such success?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Hawaii until I was 10 years old. And so I was, a white kid in a a haole boy in Hawaii with a lot of Hawaiians and people picking on me and, kind of, not wanting me around, just because of that. So I kind of had that reverse racism or, like early on in life. And then I started to do well in Hawaii, and then my parents split up, and I moved to Marin County when I was 10 years old. And I was raised in Marin by a single mother, and my father was there, but wasn't really that involved with me in my life. And so I have some abandonment issues, around that. And it was something I never wanted to be when I was a father. So um, I was very excited to have a kid, and I felt like I did years and years of coaching, teaching children, to practice for like the big game of when I was going to be a father. And so, becoming a father for me was one of the greatest experiences in my life. And, I had all these, ideas of, oh, my daughter's going to be world champion. My daughter's going to be this, that, like everyone in my position. But when she once she was born, I quickly realized that that was like my own ego trip and projection, and that I care more about her being happy and a strong leader, and someone that has a good moral compass and stuff like that. And so my lessons with my daughter mimic my lessons that I teach my students, which are mostly based on good habits, creating good habits in your life, creating, what is a good attitude, having a good attitude, what's good self-control, because if we look at it like so simple, I know, me when I was young, and I didn't have a lot of good impulse control, when I was young. And you know what I mean? I was quick to react, quick to fly off the handle, quick, and so trying to teach my daughter that self-control, it can actually lead you down a bad path. You know what I mean? Like, these kind of things, good habits, good self-control, good attitude really, really can make a difference in somebody's life, and so I feel like, I can't control my daughter, that's like not even from day one. She's just a super strong, individual. But if I give her the tools to make the right decisions in her life, you know what I mean, to know how to self-regulate her path, then I'm kind of being a good dad. And I just try to show up for her just like I do with my students. I know I make mistakes, and I know what I say isn't always the right thing to do, but I try my best and I show up, you know what I mean? And I'm ready to own my mistakes and try again tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe share with our audience, some of the mistakes you own, because like you said, you're like, hey, I was a hothead, when I was younger,
Yeah.
and I got armed by like the best on the planet. You've
Yeah.
trained with
Yeah.
Gracies, you've done all over the world, done like
Yeah. Well,
incredible stuff.
when I was younger, I kind of, grew up in a have and have not area of Marin County, and not being in that rich kind of category, I was a little bit mad and a little bit resentful of just kind of what I did. And so I wasn't really that respectful of like the laws and just like the rules and stuff like that. And I basically felt like I could do it my way. Why not? I can do whatever I want. And, a lot of that came with consequences, and consequences, in school, or consequences with the law, or, getting into fights, and, kind of quick, like I was saying, just quick to react, and then having to deal with the consequences of, fighting and hurting somebody. And, every fight I got into when I was young, and I got into a lot of street fights, maybe like 50 or 60 or something like that, maybe more, depending on how you define a fight.
Yeah.
It's like I always felt justified in the moment, and then I always felt regretful the next day. And so I knew that there was some kind of connection between just acting impulsively and it not and like it not necessarily being the right decision. And so I did a lot of kind of training to work on my mind, getting out of that kind of reptile brain and kind of getting into that more higher consciousness, you know what I mean? And trying to understand when something's triggering me and what that actually looks like, and then how to get control of it, and try to wait until I'm not triggered before I respond with words, or before I take action or something like that. So um, I did make a lot of mistakes, when I was young, and and some of them almost made me feel like I was going to lose my life. I got into a couple fights, and I got into trouble. I got arrested, and I thought I was going to kind of lose everything, and be in the system. So I feel like if I didn't change my ways, I wouldn't be kind of where I'm standing today.
And then you found this like incredible platform where it's like, oh, now I can actually train
Yeah,
and
yeah,
hone this craft and work with like the best in the planet,
yeah,
and I can win all these like competitions, be this badass.
yeah, yeah,
And then that comes with costs of your body getting thrashed. I mean, you
yeah,
share a little bit
yeah.
about that. So
Yeah, well, I started training with the Gracie family back in 1994, and they were new to America, and the toughest family in the world, almost like superheroes to me.
oh yeah.
And I basically would do anything, run through fire for their approval. My teacher, I wanted to do anything to make him proud of me, and that life was a very, very rough life as far as the training that we're doing every day, people trying to rip your arms off and choke you and knock you out kind of on the regular. And then, in that process, instead of listening to my body, I tried to tell my body what to do. My body was saying, we need to rest, we are hurt. And I said, no, you need to get back out there and keep on going. And in the process of doing that, I got a lot of injuries, and I disconnected that part of my brain that's about self-preservation, and it's one of the worst things that I ever did. I cared more about victory, or this or that, or not giving up, than I did about my actual health.
You wouldn't
So
listen to your body, just override it with the desired outcome.
yeah, yeah, and so instead, this guy's trying to break my arm, and instead of me just giving up, I go, "Oh, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I'll just let my arm break, without changing the expression on my face. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Just
do it.
and that's something that I don't think was a good thing to learn how to do. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
what I mean? It didn't really lead me
Just
down the
disconnect
best
that
path.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was, and then once I got to a point where I'd learned so much that I didn't want the knowledge to die with me. And so I really wanted to turn around and teach, but I wanted to try to steer my students away from these huge pitfalls that I kind of went through, with, like I said, like the, abusing my body, and then getting the skills, and then having a big ego and not knowing kind of how to control, what I mean, what you have, and when it's okay to use it, and that kind of stuff. So
So you came into
um
all this power and skillful
yeah,
precision power, and
yeah,
almost like sociopathic ability with your body, to just like
yeah,
ignore
yeah.
all telltale signs of like,
Yeah, I mean,
when to
I
ease up.
felt like I could beat up anyone in the world, and what I mean, except for like a small 1%, what I mean, group. And with that, comes, you act a certain way, what I mean, when it's like that. And as humble as I tried to be like that, I look back and I could have been more humble. I could have walked away more. I could have used my power for more good, but I was young and had a big ego, and I thought, when I saw some punk, running his mouth, or someone messing with me, I thought I was this guy's bad karma catching up with him. I thought I was the lesson that this guy needs. But as I got older, who am I, man? I'm not God. I don't decide. I don't decide who, I'm not here to deal out death and judgment on people. You know what I mean? Even
And
the
then you find
wisest can't
out
see all sides.
the scariest opponent you have is yourself. And you're like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
gosh, like this is where I'm getting humbled and spanked from going through divorce, going through challenge
yeah,
business, all the California, like this was the thing to do. And then all of a sudden COVID time hit, and it's like, zoop,
yeah,
and you're like, oh my God, like I didn't even see
yeah.
this opponent coming. Like, how do you
It
prepare
was
for this?
Yeah, yeah. COVID was really rough, and it made me the only blessing I had from COVID was to really just look deep inside, and decide whether or not I still want to do this and how I want to do it, and just make me really work on my program, and kind of like my product and what I'm putting out there, and try to improve it to where I really feel good about, like, I'm helping people. Like, this is I'm helping people in the world. Like, this isn't something that is a bad thing for someone. It's something that everyone can benefit from, if
So
that makes sense.
yeah, well, maybe as we wrap things up right now and get people pointing in the right direction of you, like what's the message of your program and your where you're at now from all these these extraordinary feats that you've accomplished, and also these like new beginnings that you've had, and as you're in this new chapter of life right now, destined for a different degree of greatness, not necessarily just in the arena of life, not in conquering the competition.
Yeah. Well,
um
I think it starts just coming from that place of never giving up,
or
and and learning that as a black belt, just, fall down 7, get up 8, and just
Yep.
really kind of embodying that win or learn mentality, not win or lose, win or learn. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I have to learn from them. And then they're not mistakes, they're lessons. You know what I mean? They're no longer mistakes.
Right.
And so, I think that we have to remember that, at times there's nobody going to be there to pick you up. There's nobody going to be there to tell you the right thing. And you have to kind of dig deep and turn inward for that wisdom and that knowledge, you know what I mean? And to be your own
When
best advocate,
when you say that's probably the richest experience in my life is when I turned around and there's no one to grab me and pick me up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to turn inward
Yeah.
and find this
Yeah.
part of myself that what you can call self-love. You can sell it as a form of the real creative juice. Like the outward seeking stops, and
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
find the guru within, and that
Yeah. And it's
and
like, do you want to lay down and die? Or are you going to pick yourself up and do it? You know what I mean? And so,
you have everything inside you. In fact, it can't be placed in others outside yourself. You
it
know,
isn't. Everything we need to know about everything is inside of us. We just have to have the right wisdom to find it and access it, and I think that that's kind of, what martial arts has given me is like that no quit attitude, that never give up kind of mentality. And then, once you have that and you're going to be okay, just because you love yourself, you're your best friend, you're your relationship, I think anyone can do a lot once they get to that place, but if you still at odds with yourself, you secretly hate yourself, all that, it's going to be a really rough road for you, so I think that, no one wants to address spirituality, no one wants to do the work into themselves, but it's truly the most important work there is. It's the wellspring for which we flow. It's like, where does it come from if not from us? Otherwise you'll always be dependent on somebody else, and I don't want to, make people dependent. I want to teach them to fish.
yeah, we have the same principles. It's just like we foolishly have to still lift up rocks for a certain amount of time to go, okay, the answer's not out there under this rock or this
Exactly.
person.
Exactly.
These things
Yeah.
these things are reflecting what's resonant. Whenever there's a resonance, it's because something inside us exists and it's been hidden from view, and because
Yeah.
we've been looking out here, projecting the answers out here with this person or this.
Exactly.
So right now, like if folks want to get a hold of you and want to really figure out a way to just engage with this aspect of themselves, that maybe there is some disconnect right now, and they're seeking, and then they, you and I, again, like we're here not to like stand as a guru on a mountaintop and dish out wisdom. We're here to go help you turn the binoculars on the inside. And
Exactly. And
so
if I was a guru on top of a mountain, I would literally say, I'm a guru, but so are you. We can all be here together. It's not about me standing alone. It's about unlocking. It's in you. It's in you. It's in you. It's in you. It's in everybody. You know what I mean?
yeah, I am in you and you are in me, and like,
Exactly. Yeah.
and so there's a sacred teaching that obviously you bring incredible skill sets. You're a master technician, but imagine having a master technician with your spirituality, with a piece that if you really
Yeah.
check with yourself, that's what all of us really want. When we can come back to
Exactly.
this place of like, I am self-generating all my emotions. Once I can take ownership and responsibility that I am creating all this, I'm co-creating that, we're then coachable. We're now,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
for you and me is like, bring me a coachable student, and
Oh my
and
God. The
and
best.
the best, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
like,
The
I can
best, man.
serve you, I can help you, I'm here to serve you, I'm here to be used up. My spirit is one with what you need right now, versus someone who's
Absolutely.
like, hey, can you just give me the quick answer? And I'm like, no, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
work for it with me. And I think you probably, like there's a practice, of self-mastery that you and I are
Yeah.
trying to get in our students to engage with.
The
And
road is hard, but it's worth it.
yeah, it is.
You know,
It is. That's
it's worth
absolutely true. And so
it.
if you want a hard road, but the right road and the right path, how would they get a hold of you, Mikyo? And
Yeah, you guys can all reach out to me anytime. My website is marinmma.com, MARIN MMA.com. You guys can shoot me an email. Mikyo Riggs, MIKYO RIGGS @AOL.com. You can give me a call, 415-497-5050. I would love to hear from anyone. Okay. I'm an open book, and like, I'm happy to talk to anybody anytime. So please reach out if you guys feel called to.
Well, I'm so appreciative, Mikio, having you here on this call, and I know our audience will, really appreciate some nuggets of wisdom
Yeah,
from this
right
podcast.
on. Glenn,
We'll
thank you
get
so much
get
for
back.
having me on.
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you so much, man. It's been great to connect with you again. And, I'm so proud of you. Of course, I'm in your corner for life, buddy, and sending you much love in Colorado and all that, so
Yeah.
let's keep it going, man. Let's stay in touch.
We will. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening in, and thank you for taking time here.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
See you soon, brother.
Okay. Okay. You take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.